The stars were quiet that day. Space was empty, cold, and silent, just like always. Captain Jax had been alone for years, traveling from one dead zone to another. He was a scavenger. Not a soldier, not a hero, just a man looking for old ships to steal parts and sell them for credits. That morning, his scanner picked up something strange. A signal. Weak, faint, hidden behind an asteroid field. Unmarked ship, his AI said. No ID, no movement. Likely abandoned. Jax smiled. Good. Let's see what they left behind. He moved his small cargo ship closer. The vessel in front of him was massive, dark gray, smooth surface, no windows. It didn't look like any human ship. No flags, no lights, just floating, sleeping, forgotten. Jax put on his suit, grabbed his flashlight, and entered through a maintenance hatch. The air inside was thin, but still breathable. That was strange. Old ships didn't keep air running for hundreds of years. He walked down the dark hallway. His boots echoed. The lights flickered above. Then he heard it. A whisper. Soft. Almost like a song. Not in English, but somehow he understood. By my chains, please break them. Jax froze. Who's there? He shouted. No answer. Just silence. He followed the sound, deeper into the ship. Metal doors opened with a hiss. The room was circular, cold, and empty except for the center. There, in the middle, was a figure. A woman, chained by glowing blue cuffs, suspended a few feet above the floor. She didn't look human. Her skin shimmered like starlight, blue, silver, and pale gold. Her eyes were large, black with tiny stars inside them. Her hair floated like smoke, even without wind. She looked weak, but not broken. Calm, but not safe. Jax raised his flashlight. What are you? He asked. She opened her mouth, but no sound came. Instead, a voice echoed in his head. You hear me now. Good. Jax stepped back. Telepath? Yes, I speak only to you. Please, help me. He looked at the glowing chains. They weren't normal metal. They were tech, alien tech, designed to hold someone powerful. Not just trap her body, but her mind too. Who put you here? He asked. My creators, my owners. Long ago, I was made to serve them, to create life, strong life, but I wanted more. So they locked me away. Jax felt a chill. You're a breeder? Not just that. I'm the last of my kind. My blood can make new life, stronger than humans, smarter than machines. You free me, I give you a gift. Children, power, a future your race has never seen. Jax didn't answer. This wasn't a simple salvage mission anymore. He walked closer. Her eyes followed him. She didn't blink. There was a small control panel on the side wall. It glowed with strange symbols, ones he'd never seen before. But his AI began translating. Warning. Do not release subject. Danger. Class Omega entity. If unchained, systems will fail. Jax felt the sweat on his back. What the hell are you? Something your world is not ready for, but something it will need. Suddenly, his wrist communicator beeped. His AI spoke. Captain, we are being scanned. Unknown origin. Ship approaching fast. Friends of yours? Jax asked. The alien woman looked down. No. Hunters. If they find me here, they will kill us both. Jax stared at her. He should leave. He should sell the location and let someone else handle this. But something in him wouldn't turn away. Not from those eyes. Not from that voice in his mind. She spoke again, softer now. By my chains, Jax. Break them. Let me live. And I will give you more than you ever dreamed. Jax stood there, breathing hard. Outside, something was coming. Inside, something was waiting. And between them, a choice that could change the galaxy. He took a deep breath and reached for the panel. Space shook, but no one heard it. Not with sound, but with something deeper. A pulse, a wave, a call. The moment Captain Jax touched the glowing alien panel, something across the stars woke up. Inside the dark ship, the chains around the alien woman clicked once. Then again. A slow release. The lights on the walls dimmed. Energy drained from the systems like blood from a wound. The woman lowered to the floor gently, like gravity itself was afraid to harm her. Her feet touched the metal. Her eyes opened wide. She looked at Jax, not with thanks, but with warning. "You bought the chains," she said in his mind. "Now you carry the price." Jax stepped back, unsure. "What price?" "I freed you." "Yes, but breaking the chains woke others. The silence is broken. They will come." Jax didn't like that. "Who are they?" She turned to him, her face glowing in the dim light. "The ones who made me. The ones who sell lives like mine. You've called them with your touch." Back on his ship, alarms were already going off. Warning. Deep space scan detected. Unknown craft. Approaching at high velocity. Jax pulled her with him. "We have to go. Now." She didn't fight. She followed. Inside Jax's small ship, the woman stood still, looking around like she had never seen a ship like his before. Probably she hadn't. He sat at the pilot seat, punching in escape coordinates. "Name. I need your name." "Aarnaley," she said. "That is what I was called before the chains." "All right, Aarnaley. You'd better hold on." The engines roared. The stars outside bent and twisted as the ship jumped into light speed. For the first few minutes, no one spoke. Jax looked at her through the mirror. She didn't breathe like humans. Her chest moved slowly, calmly. Her skin shimmered with a soft, shifting light, like liquid metal under moonlight. He had seen many aliens in his life. Traders, fighters, machines. But never like her. He finally broke the silence. "You said you were made to create life. What does that mean?" She looked at him. "My body carries genetic blueprints. Thousands of species. I was built to make children, hybrids better, stronger than anything alive." "Sounds like a weapon." "Yes, that's what they wanted me to be. A factory of life for war. But I learned to think, to want, and they feared that." Jax didn't respond. His head was spinning. A living alien designed to produce hybrid warriors. Chained for centuries. Now free because of him. He got up and walked to the small medbay. "Let me scan you. I need to know if you're stable." She nodded, stepping into the scanner. The machine buzzed, hummed, then blinked red. This can't be right," Jax said, reading the screen. Her cells were alive in a way human cells weren't. They were self-healing. Some parts were machine-like, others completely unknown. The machine couldn't fully analyze her. Then it gave a strange message. Subject contains dual reproductive energy. High fusion probability with human DNA. Warning. Possible unplanned gestation. Jax stared at it. "What does that mean?" he asked. Aarnaley smiled for the first time. "It means you and I are now linked. Your touch started it. Life is already beginning." Jax stepped back. "No, that's not possible. I didn't. You didn't need to. It's not how you think. My kind doesn't need contact the way yours does. I only needed to be free. Now the child will grow." Before Jax could respond, the ship's lights blinked. "Incoming transmission," said the AI. Jax tapped the console. A shadowy figure appeared on the screen, blurry, wrapped in static. Spoke in a deep, broken voice. "Return the unit. You do not understand what you carry." Jax narrowed his eyes. "I didn't steal her. I freed her." "Exactly," the voice growled. "And now your species is in danger." The screen went black. Aarnaley stepped forward. "They won't stop. They'll chase us to your planet. They'll burn it to take me back." Jax clenched his fists. "Then we stay ahead of them." He set new coordinates. Destination, nowhere. Off-grid, hidden. For the first time in years, he felt fear. Not for himself, but for Earth. Because he didn't just find an alien. He made a deal with her. And now everything was changing. Blood should not glow. But hers did. Captain Jax had seen wounds before. He'd seen red, blue, even green blood from alien traders. But this was different. It wasn't blood. It was light in liquid form. It happened by accident. They had landed on an old mining moon. Empty, dusty, forgotten by most maps. Jax needed fuel, food, and a place to think. Arneli needed quiet. Her mind was still unlocking, now that the chains were gone. He was fixing a power line outside the ship when he heard her scream. It wasn't loud, but it shook the ground. He ran inside. She was on the floor holding her arm. A small cut, just a scratch from the ship's control panel. But the cut wasn't bleeding red. It was gold, bright gold, moving like fire trapped in water. The drops floated up from her skin and danced in the air. They didn't fall. They pulsed. Alive. Jax stepped back. What is that? She looked at him, not in pain, but in fear. It's starting. Too soon. Jax helped her up. What's starting? She sat down, her eyes glowing slightly brighter now. The chains did more than bind my body. They locked my blood, my genes, my memory. Now it's all coming back. Jax opened the ship scanner again. He ran a full test, this time focusing on the blood she left on the floor. The AI struggled to read it. The results kept changing. The structure of her cells rewrote themselves every few seconds. Then the screen showed a strange message. Alert, DNA active, scanning user, fusion sequence, incomplete. He didn't understand. What does this mean? Arneli stood. Her voice in his mind was clear now. My blood remembers things. Weapons, places, codes, even people. It's not just for making life. It's for unlocking lost ones. Jax blinked. Are you saying your blood carries memories? She nodded. Yes, my creators used me to store knowledge inside life. Every child I make carries a part of the past. And something more. Jax leaned in. What? She looked at him. Her face was calm, but her voice trembled. Power. Enough to change planets. Maybe even time. That night, Jax couldn't sleep. He walked to the observation deck and looked at the stars. They seemed closer now, or maybe more dangerous. His ship felt different. Ever since he freed Arneli, the controls were smoother. The engines faster. The AI smarter. He had said nothing, but he knew why. She was changing the ship without touching it. Her blood was inside the air, the filters, the walls. She was connected now. In the morning, Arneli stood near the engine core. She wasn't touching anything, but the wires moved around her. Jax stared. Are you doing that? She turned. Your ship listens to me now. My cells speak to machines. You're not just a person, are you? She walked closer. I'm a code hidden in flesh. A map. A weapon. A mother. But never free, until you. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The AI buzzed. Unknown object entering orbit. No signal. No heat. No sound. Jax checked the radar. It was a small pod. Metallic. Floating near the surface of the moon. He frowned. That wasn't here before. Arneli's face went pale. That's a seeker. They found us. Jax grabbed his weapon and suited up. Stay here. But she grabbed his arm. No. If they sent a seeker, they know what I carry now. They'll send more. We have minutes. Jax turned to her. Then what do we do? She looked at the engine. You must let me finish unlocking. I don't trust that. If I stay incomplete, I die. The child dies. And you become the reason your people are destroyed. He hesitated, then nodded. Do it. She placed her hands on the engine core. Her fingers glowed. The ship hummed like it was breathing. Then she screamed. Not in pain, but in power. Light burst from her chest. Symbols flew across the walls. The entire ship turned golden for 1 second. Then silence. Her body collapsed. Jax ran to her, panicked. Arneli. She opened her eyes slowly. It's done. I'm free now. And so is the blood. Outside, the seeker pod turned. It sent a final signal back into deep space. A message. One word. Awakened. They did not speak. They did not warn. They came like shadows behind a dying star. No names. No faces. Just black ships, smooth as stone, fast as thought. They were not looking for war. They were looking for her. Captain Jax stood on the bridge, watching the radar screen. Dots. Small ones. First. Now more. Now closer. The AI's voice was flat. 6 unknown vessels. No ID. No transmissions. Full stealth mode. He looked at Aarnaley. She didn't even turn her head. They're here, she said calmly. Sooner than I hoped. But expected. Jax stared at her. You said we had time. I said we had minutes. Not days. The ships outside didn't use weapons. They used gravity. The moon below them cracked slightly. One of the black ships passed over it, pulling dust and stone into the air with invisible force. Jax felt his ship being pulled too. Just a little. But enough. He hit the engines. Nothing happened. Engines offline, the AI said. Power override from external source. Aarnaley. She was already moving. Her body shimmered like before, like energy was waking inside her. They're locking the ship, preparing to board. Suddenly, a voice echoed in Jax's ship, not from speakers, from inside his skull. Cold, flat, like metal thinking. Return the vessel. Return the genetic core. Last warning. Jax shouted back. You don't own her. But the voice didn't care. She is property of the makers. You are an organic interference. You will be erased. Jax ran to the storage bay, grabbed his plasma rifle. Tell me what I'm fighting, Aarnaley. She followed, her eyes glowing brighter. You're not fighting machines. You're fighting minds without bodies. They built me, then feared me, so they built the hunters. He stopped. You mean, those ships are the hunters? She nodded. No pilots, no crew, just pure programming. They never sleep, never stop, never forgive. Suddenly the hull shook. A sharp, low hum buzzed through the ship. Hull breach detected. Deck 2, the AI said. Jax and Aarnaley ran toward the sound. A long crack opened in the wall. Through it, silver tendrils pushed inside, thin like wires but moving like snakes. Jax fired. The shot hit one, but the tendril didn't burn. It absorbed the energy. It reached for him. Aarnaley stepped forward. Her hand lit up. She touched the air and the tendrils froze. For a second, everything went silent again. Then the wires shattered like glass. Jax stared. You stopped it. She nodded. Because I was their key. And now I am their poison. But more tendrils came. More holes in the ship. The ship was dying. Jax grabbed her arm. We can't fight them all. What do they want now? She looked at him, her voice colder now. Me. Or the child. His eyes widened. It's real. Yes. And it's already part of you too. They will burn planets to erase it. The AI crackled again. Emergency. External override nearing command core. Self-destruct protocol unlocked. Jax slammed a hand on the wall. They're trying to blow the ship from inside. Aarnaley stepped into the center of the room. Her body pulsed with light. Her hair lifted. Her skin glowed golden. Then we leave this body. This metal. I will take you somewhere they cannot follow. Jax shouted. Where? She smiled faintly. Into the bloodline. Into the stars. Suddenly, everything turned white. The ship vanished. The hunters stopped. No signal. No trail. They scanned the area again. Nothing. The vessel was gone. But far away, on a dead planet no one had touched in centuries, 2 lights appeared. One was a man, shaking, holding his side. The other was her. Aarnaley. Still glowing. Still alive. Jax looked around. Where are we? Safe. For now. He fell to his knees. How did we get here? She walked toward him. You are no longer just a man. Your blood is marked now. You carried the child in your mind. That was enough. Jax looked at his hands. They glowed, just for a second. The hunters would return. But so would he. Stronger. Changed. And no longer alone. Before Earth was born, her story had already started. Before humans learned fire, they were chosen. Not by gods. not by nature, but by something far older. Captain Jax woke up gasping for breath. He wasn't on his ship, not on the mining moon, not in space. He was lying on grass, real grass, under a blue sky, a sky with two suns. He sat up quickly, blinking. His heart raced. Where am I? Arneli stood nearby, her long hair glowing in the wind, even though the air was still. This is not a planet. It's a memory, she said. One buried inside your blood. Planted long ago. Jack stood. What do you mean inside my blood? You teleported us, didn't you? She shook her head. No, we were destroyed. The ship, your body, all broken. He touched his chest. Felt normal. Alive. But you were carrying the code, she continued. When the ship died, I pulled us into what lives beyond machines. He didn't understand, but she walked toward a large tree in the distance. Its bark was silver. Its leaves glowed. Its roots pulsed like veins. They walked in silence until they reached it. Earth, she said quietly, was one of many places, seeded. Jax frowned. Seeded? By who? By the makers. They didn't just create me, they created worlds. Places to grow life. Places to harvest it. Jax took a step back. You're telling me Earth is a farm? No. A nursery. A lab. A battlefield. It depends on what they need. Suddenly, the sky above changed. Black ships floated in the air, giant and silent. The ground trembled. Jax looked up. Them again. Arneli nodded. This is my memory. The day I escaped. The scene shifted. Everything twisted like smoke. Now they were inside a cold metal room, full of tanks. Inside each tank floated a body. Not human. Not alien. Something in between. Jax walked closer. The faces looked familiar. One of them had his jaw. Another had Arneli's eyes. What is this? He whispered. These are the possible children, she said. They grow them, test them, clone them, mix them. But why? What's the point? She touched one of the tanks. Because they want something more than soldiers. They want survivors, beings who can outlive time, war, extinction. They call it Project Inheritor. Jax stared at the half-finished bodies. He realized something. You said I was chosen. But this isn't just about me, is it? Arneli turned to him. No, it's about humans. She walked slowly now, her voice softer. They saw your world, your wars, your growth, and they waited. You are wild, violent, but free. They fear that, but they also want it. Jax clenched his fists. So Earth was never safe. It was never meant to be. Suddenly he heard a voice. Not hers. A child's voice. Father. Jax turned. There, standing at the edge of the memory, was a small figure. A boy, glowing faintly, hair like Arneli. As like Jax. Is that? She nodded. Yes, possible version. Not born, but close. The boy walked toward Jax. You carry me now, the boy said. Not in your arms. In your soul. You opened the door. They are coming for me. Suddenly the sky cracked. The dream broke apart like glass. Jax woke up, for real this time. Back in the ship. Blood on his shirt. Pain in his ribs. Arneli beside him, weak but breathing. He sat up. The AI spoke softly. New signal detected. Earth-based. Government level. Tracking us. Jax looked at Arneli. We didn't just escape them, he said. We brought them with us. She nodded, barely able to speak. And now Earth will be next. He stood, shaky but angry. They want your blood, your power, your children. He looked out the ship window toward the stars. Then let's show them what humans do when someone threatens home. Earth wouldn't be ready, but neither were the hunters. Because something ancient had awakened, and this time it had a human heart. The child had no name. Not yet. No body. Not fully. But it was awake. And it was listening. Captain Jax dreamed in colors he had never seen before. He saw oceans made of sound, skies made of memory. He saw stars being born, not in space but inside a heartbeat. He saw himself, but older, wiser, with golden eyes. When he woke up, his hands were shaking. The ship was too quiet. Arneli was standing in the center of the control room, not moving, her eyes closed. He spoke her name. She didn't answer. Instead, her mouth moved, but it wasn't her voice. "Hello, Father." Jax froze. What was that? Arneli opened her eyes. They glowed brighter than ever, gold, silver, and something else. Something shifting. Her voice came back. "The child is speaking. Through me. It knows you now." Jax stepped closer. "It's alive already?" She nodded. "More than alive. It exists in thought. In light. It doesn't need time like you do. Not yet." He sat down slowly. "What does it want?" She looked at him for a long time, then said softly, "To understand which world it belongs to." The ship began to change again. The lights flickered, not randomly, but like they were breathing. Screens showed symbols that weren't programmed. Navigation data pointed to places no human ship could survive. Jax watched, stunned. "Is the ship doing that?" Arneli shook her head. "No. He is. The child. Yes, is trying to learn, to shape. It is testing what it can touch, and what it can break." Jax walked to the medbay, scanned himself again. Results flashed red. DNA fusion level, 43%. Cognitive signature mismatch. Human plus unknown. Warning. Host becoming hybrid. His hand trembled. He wasn't just carrying something. He was becoming something. Back in the control room, Arneli was on the floor, breathing heavily. He ran to her. "What's wrong?" She touched her stomach, then his face. "He is growing too fast. He wants to be born, but not as a child. He wants to build himself from us both." Jax sat beside her. "You said he's choosing between two worlds. What happens if he doesn't choose?" She looked up. Then both worlds could break. Suddenly, the ship shook. A red alert flashed across the screen. "Incoming transmission, Earth Military Command." Jax opened the channel. A man in uniform appeared. Cold eyes. A calm voice hiding fear. "Captain Jax, you are carrying an unverified entity. You are to return immediately or be terminated." Jax said nothing. The man continued. "You don't understand what you've brought back. We picked up signals, gravitational distortions, data corruption. Your ship is infected." Jax glanced at Arneli. "No," he said. "My ship isn't infected. It's evolving." The man's voice dropped. "Then Earth cannot risk your landing." They were being rejected. Not because they were dangerous, but because they were different. Jax looked at the child forming inside the glowing patterns of the ship's glass. "Can he hear me?" Jax asked. Arneli nodded weakly. Jax spoke, not with fear, but with something deeper. Hope, or maybe warning. "Listen to me," he said. "If you are between two worlds, then maybe it's time to build a third. A better one." Suddenly, the ship powered up on its own. Engines lit. Systems restructured. A course was set without his hands. Destination. Unknown coordinates. Marked, Home Prime. Jax blinked. "What is this place?" Arneli whispered. "Not where we're from, but where he wants to go." The child was no longer waiting to be born. It was already reaching, dreaming, building. Not just a life, a future. Outside the ship, stars bent as the engines roared. Behind them, Earth grew smaller. Ahead, something new. And inside the ship, in the silence between breaths, the child smiled. "Not every chain is made of metal. Some are made of fear, of memory, of guilt, and some are passed down through blood." Captain Jax stood at the edge of a planet that didn't exist on any map. The sky above was purple-black, with stars that shimmered like sparks caught in oil. Before him stood a city, empty, ancient, and silent. Not made of stone, not made by hands, pulsed like a living heart. This was Home Prime, the place the child had chosen. Not Earth. Not her world. His own. Jax turned to Aarnaley. She was weak now, pale. The glow in her body was fading. He's leaving me, she whispered. He's becoming himself now. No longer inside. No longer mine. Jax touched her hand. Is that what's supposed to happen? She shook her head. Nothing about this is supposed to happen. This is all new. Suddenly the ground shook. Not from war. Not from machines. But from arrival. Above them, cutting through the sky, came the hunters. The black ships. 10 this time. Maybe more. Their voice entered Jax's mind again. Last warning. Surrender the genetic core. He stepped forward. What happens if we don't? The answer was instant. Collapse. Containment. Cleanse. A figure began to form in the air. Not the child's body, but his will. A being of light and code. Eyes made of shifting symbols. Skin like transparent fire. The child stood between Jax and the sky. He spoke without sound. They want to erase me. Jax nodded. Because you're different. Because I am free. The hunters activated their weapons. No bullets, no missiles. Just silence. A silence meant to erase life itself. The child raised one hand. And the sky stopped. The black ships froze. The air around them bent inward. Time slowed. But the child's voice wavered. I can stop them. Or I can destroy them. But not both. Jax looked at Aarnaley. She was watching him with tired eyes. He's waiting for you, she whispered. You must choose what he becomes. And Jax understood. The child was not just power. Not just a weapon. He was a reflection. Of what Jax believed. Of what humanity believed. Jax stepped forward. He looked into the child's glowing face. You could crush them. You could burn every one of those ships. End them forever. The child nodded. Yes, I could. But what will that teach you? Silence. Jax pointed to his chest. You carry both our blood. Mine and hers. You are not a soldier. You are a beginning. The hunters tried to break the silence. They moved. And the child reacted. He raised both hands this time. A pulse spread across the sky. But it wasn't fire. It wasn't death. It was release. The ships cracked. Not in flames but in freedom. Their black metal skins fell away. Underneath were pieces of memory. People. Beings. Creators. Chained to their code. And now unchained. Jax looked around. He saw the ships vanish. Not destroyed. Transformed. The child lowered his arms. His body flickered. Then he smiled. He had chosen. Not destruction. Not control. Compassion. Jax fell to his knees. He was crying and didn't know why. Aarnaley walked slowly to the child. He looked at her. Like a star looks at the ocean. Thank you, he said to them both. Then he was gone. Not dead. Not missing. Ascended. Into light. Into code. Into the galaxy itself. A week later, Jax stood on Earth again. The skies were normal. The ships had stopped chasing. The governments had gone silent. They didn't understand what happened. Maybe they never would. But something had changed. Not in space. In us. And far, far beyond Earth. A new world began to grow. Not a planet. Not a machine. A place for those who chose not to obey, nor to destroy, but to build. A place for beings like the child. The galaxy had tried to control him. Jax had tried to guide him. But in the end, the child broke all chains and became something better.